I only love it with some passion. Rubber band and the money that keeps stacking. Got a honey who come with elite fashion. She too fine, I tell her that thing magic. You ain't a hustle, you broke, well that seems tragic. Got her catching the fields like deep passes. I tell her plug if it's sticky, then please bag it. I need the best cause I grew up.
What is going on, football fans, Bills fans? I'm a little off today, so we're gonna get through this. But shout out to everybody that's tuning in for it tonight. I got my man Sterls for the girls, and I got my homegirl. We have a new Buffalo Rumblings. I don't even know how I want to introduce her, but she's like a new Buffalo Rumblings staple. She's somebody that's gonna be around. Y'all gonna see her. My homegirl Sara Larson's in the building. What's going on?
What's up? Well, just a lot of traveling. Finally settled in Detroit, so let's get it.
Y'all crazy, all that now, I say that with respect. I say that with respect because I understand like you have so you have like a, what is it, 30 game or 31 games?
30 games consecutive I've been to, so this will be 31, and trying to maintain it has not been easy, but I want to continue doing it and see where it goes, probably until the end of the season, and then we'll see. But yeah, the pressure kind of gets on you. When you get up to this many games, you don't want one silly game to be the reason why it folds. I went through that with COVID, because I didn't go to a couple of the COVID games that we were able to go to. So that streak stopped. So I was like bound and determined. I changed my flight to flying early into Buffalo, so I didn't hit the storm. Flew in on Thursday, and then about 2 hours after I got there, they announced that they were moving it. So finally, I was lucky though, because there was 3 flights to Detroit today. 2 of them were canceled. Mine was delayed 3 hours, and we sat an hour and a half on the tarmac, but I got here. So
it was late, but on time. You was there.
Yeah.
Like
I'm here.
Black church folk be like, God ain't always there when you want him, but he always on time. Your flight was on
Preach.
time. You ain't get it. You ain't get it when you wanted to, but it's on time. But no, I get it. I get the pressure because it's like, like you said, you got a streak going, and it's one of those things where it's like, because I feel like you would have been up to like 45 at this point if COVID didn't happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, it would be even more because I started in 2019. And I had a good, 6 or 7 straight that season at the end of the season, including the playoffs. So 2020 happened, and unfortunately, we weren't able to go to any of those games. So
shout out to my man Daniel in the comments, and then my man Daryl Flair. I got to get a nickname for Daryl. Like this is my brother, and I don't get I got a nickname for everybody except him. So I'm gonna get one next show. Whether it's code of conduct, hump day, or it is, like, trust me, dude, you're going to have a nickname. I'm going to figure that out. Shout out to John Herring in there. Oh, Sarah's a hottie. Thank you for providing content on Saturday. Hey, get it in there. Get it in there. Okay.
Chop up after dark.
Hey. There you go.
So, Sterls, what's up with you, man? What kind of week you done had?
Dog, I just got over COVID. Yeah, man.
Again?
So, again, like I don't know, dog. It's like it just loves me, bro. It loves me.
I was about to say they lying, man, because they say you get COVID, then you can't get it for a certain amount of time, and then man, you done had it like once every other month.
Yeah, right. For real though, but it's it's a new strands, man. It don't matter, like it just the new strands will get you. So when you got kids, it passes around. It'll find you. You know what I'm saying? So, but everything is COVID these days, right? So, but I'm alive and well. You already know.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's get into it. I've been good. I don't have COVID now. I done had some jacked up issues with my back. I don't know what's happening with my back. Like I feel like my back is like 85 years old, and I'm still chugging along at 36. But it's all good. We're gonna get through it. My man D said Sterls had the COVID 3-piece.
Hey, can I get a biscuit too?
Man, no, don't ask for that. Don't ask for that because it's gonna come back. Don't even do that. You don't want no residual effects from that joint. So, but let's get into it. As a matter of fact, before we get into it, we don't have to talk about the Bills yet. But there's a reason why Sarah's in Detroit, and there's a reason why everybody isn't enjoying a fun snow game tomorrow at Orchard Park. Let's just talk real quick about this crazy snowstorm. Like it was like a what would they call it? A thunder snow or Snow thunder.
Yeah.
How did they word it? I forget
Thunder
the way
snow,
they label
yeah.
it. A thunder snow.
Snow. Yeah.
This sounds like a character, like one of the evil villains on the Power Rangers as a kid when you come up, like, you know, like when Rita throw the stick and make them grow. It's the thunderstorm. Like, but
I heard it once. I heard it once while I was at the airport, and that was it. But I saw a lot of videos that it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I heard it once, and I was like, "What the heck was that?" And I looked out the window and realized that it was like lightning and stuff at the same time. But we also didn't get it as bad at the airport. And, you know, we, like I said, total over 2 days was like 24, 25 inches versus, you know, Orchard Park that got like, they say 77. So
Yeah,
definitely, yeah, definitely blessed that I was more up north, because the South towns got destroyed from my understanding. So
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Charles, do y'all get anything like that in Denver?
Oh, nothing like that. No. We just got like 4 inches out here, you know, yesterday, and that ain't nothing compared to a whole 77. Y'all got a whole Luka Doncic worth of snow in Buffalo. That's just wild. That's wild. So yeah, I'll pass
shout out
on
to
that.
Daniel. Shout out to Daniel. I was going to bring this up a little bit later on, but it is a record for New York State in 24 hours. Orchard Park got 66 inches of snow in 24 hours, which is a record. And the crazy part about that, by saying it's a record, like, people have lived through the blizzard of 77. Like, I was there for the October storm, and all types of things have happened in Buffalo. 2014 was a pretty crazy year as well, when the Buffalo Bills also had to go to Detroit to play. So there's been years of snowstorms, and for it to be a record for the state is a big deal. So I saw somebody tweet out earlier. They said that's why Griselda raps the way they do, because of the snow that we got. Like, yeah, that's why they rap so dark. I get it. But let's get into these games. You already know, Sterling, I got to throw that Griselda in there every chance I get.
I can't now.
no, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you, dog. See,
hi, computer.
Yeah, it's just clipping in and out right now.
I think something wrong with your computer. I don't know what it is. It ain't me. But anyway, I was saying that my man Twine ain't with us because he's a Jets fan. Obviously, he's traveling for the Jets against the Patriots game, and we're going to talk about that because it's relevant to the Bills. It's relevant to us as Bills fans. This division, first of all, coming into the season, who would have thought that this division would be the best division in football?
Not me.
No,
I mean, we all thought the West.
Yeah,
I
no
thought the West for sure. No, I'm not muted, Daniel. In the comments going, you muted, lost you completely, bro. There you go. No, I'm here. Okay, something wrong with y'all. No, I'm joking. My XLR cord is loose. I got to get a new one. I'm gonna get a new one this week. But so the Jets and Patriots, it's a relevant game. I want the Jets to lose, but I can't ever see myself saying I want the Patriots to win. So Sterls, first, like, let's talk about the relevance of this game, but then talk about kind of how you feel like this game is gonna go, but then also how you feel like you want it to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a good game. You know, neither one of these offenses are dynamic. You know, these are both defensive teams, so I think it'll be low scoring. So I think, you know, from a betting standpoint, bet the under. But I do think that you know, the Jets have what it takes to beat New England. You know, they're gonna lean heavy on that run game, which I do think that's one of New England's strengths, is defending the run. But, you know, I think it's going to come down to which quarterback's going to make, you know, the most plays, or who's going to be more consistent. I think that's who's going to win the game. So if I had to put money on it, I would go with the Jets.
I'm gonna go with the Jets. My man D said, "I want to tie."
Tie, exactly.
D-Rail's coming in hot.
Yeah, he is.
They both lose.
So how you feel about it, Sarah?
Yeah, you know, honestly, I would have thought the Jets would beat the Patriots until today. I was listening that lately, even though the Jets have kind of been the better team, Patriots still, they said they live rent free in the Jets' mind. So kind of looking at all that, and that it's in New England, I kind of want to see the Patriots beat the Jets right now. I'm being salty. We haven't played the Patriots yet, so we can kind of control our own destiny there. So I'd like to see the Patriots beat the Jets at this point. Whether or not they can, I think the Jets have a better defense, but I think that the Patriots have a better quarterback. So we'll see.
All right, so are you still mad because they beat us? Is there, or what?
A little bit. I mean, always, kind of, you go through that with the Jets and with the Dolphins right now. They're all, the fan. It's more I'm angry with the fan bases. I think, so I kind of like to shut them up. But I think that right now Wilson still hasn't proven to me that he's the better quarterback. I still have him at the bottom in the AFC East out of the four. So I still think that the Patriots could be the better team on Sunday. We'll see.
I'm going to pause for 1 second. Carson's in the comments and said, I had this idea that maybe the NFL can make Detroit a yearly neutral game location, much like London and Mexico games. They'll call it the NFL Detroit series. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, especially if it's taking away one of the Bills games. I don't like it. Like, I like it for this situation. I'm 100% in agreement for this situation. Everybody knows I'm team dome as it is in several ways, but especially when it comes to football games, I'm team dome as it is. So I feel like when it's snow like that, no, get Josh out of there. Let him be protected. Let that dude kind of get out there and not have to worry about the elements. We don't need no neutral game location, especially if it's the Bills involved. But back to what y'all saying, I'm with both of you. I think the Bills, we obviously need the Jets to lose, but again, I don't want the Patriots to win. So if it can be a tie, I feel like that's the best case scenario for us. But the way I think it's going to go, I'm leaning with you, Sarah. I think the Jets are still playing better than they are, if that makes sense. And I mean, that sounds dumb to say, like they're playing better than they are, but I feel like their defense is really good. But I also feel like they've come into some lucky situations, like for instance, against the Bills. I still believe, and I could be wrong because I'm biased, I'm a Bills fan. I think the Bills are still the team that we saw weeks 1 through 5 or weeks 1 through 6. The way the team looked, the way the offense was against the Rams, and the way the offense was against the Tennessee. I feel like that's the offense that we are, and I feel like that's how I don't know why things kind of fell apart, but I feel like we're gonna get back to that, and when we do, I don't think the Dolphins can hang with us offensively, even with Tyreek Hill. I don't think the Jets can hang with us, but we took an L to both of those teams. So now you look at this, and it's like, okay, the Jets played better because their defense kind of slowed us down, but also we weren't clicking. It was several plays in that game where Josh didn't connect with the receivers like we thought. The running game wasn't doing. The defense wasn't playing like we should have been. Like all year, the defense has been stopping the run all year. Then all of a sudden the Jets game and them boys running on us like we ain't got, what I mean? Like I just don't see it. So in this situation, I'm going to say I'm going to go with the Patriots this game. I agree that Mac Jones is better than Bills fans don't want to give him credit for. Like Bills fans want Mac Jones to be complete buns. I think he's better than that. And I think with Bill Belichick, he's not the greatest coach of all time without Tom Brady, but he always coaches a good defense.
For sure.
So I see the Patriots kind of at least I hope. That is where I'm going to go. I hope the Patriots win tomorrow. Make the AFC East a little bit more competitive again, but still, I'm expecting the Bills to win. So I think the Bills are going to – in the next couple of weeks, the Bills are going to be back at the top of the AFC East. So I'm not worried about us being in third place right now.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. The Bills are they got to right the shit, man, because it's – they're beating themselves. I mean, they should only have – what, one loss, if not?
I don't think we should. Yeah, not even.
It's like, but they're getting everybody's best shot, right? And I do think we need to pump the brakes on, how good our wide receiver room is, though, because it ain't it. We still got some major holes there, in my opinion, but I still think this is a team that can rally. Josh can settle down and kind of get back to playing the way he did the first, few weeks of the season, which was taking the easy wins. Just take what's open. And now, because they rely so much on Josh, and some other people outside of Stephon Diggs aren't making plays. He's starting to be hero Josh again, starting to press. And so hopefully he can get back to playing winning football, because these past few weeks, man, it's been a roller coaster, to say the least.
And the crazy thing, even with his mistakes, like we've still seen moments of brilliance. Like we've still seen like Josh Allen-esque things, but his decision making, he hasn't been protecting the ball. And I agree with you as far as our wide receivers. We're not talking about the Bills yet. We're supposed to be talking about
but we gotta talk about them boys.
We gonna talk about that, because I'm on that when it comes to the receiving core, man. I'm not as sold as everybody else is on Gabriel Davis. I'm not saying I don't like Gabriel Davis.
Right.
I think he's good. I think he will be good for us. Yeah, he's not wide receiver 1B. It's not that. He's not
even
Stephon Diggs numbers. No, he's not. He has 24 receptions on 48 on 48 targets this year.
Yeah.
Like that's
he
not
had one good game. Maybe 1.5 good games.
The Vikings game, I could say he almost had 100 yards receiving. I could say that was a good game for him, but he hasn't been like everybody expected him to come out from Kansas City and then just be exactly what we saw from Kansas City, and it ain't been that. It hasn't been that. So okay, so let's move on, because we got a moment to talk about the Bills and the Browns. So I don't want to get too deep in that. Another game I want to look at here. I think the Cowboys and Vikings game is going to be pretty good, and I think that for a couple of reasons. I think the Cowboys, they're a little disappointing at times. Like they come out and lose to the Packers, who have come out this year complete cheeks. Like they are buns in every aspect. And I don't get it, because they still got Aaron Rodgers. I do think I like Christian Watson. I like Christian Watson, but we ain't gonna talk about them right now. We talking about the Cowboys and the Vikings. They come out and they lose to the Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys, but then they're still one of the best teams in the NFC. They're one of the best teams in the NFC East. I think their defense is better this year than they were last year, and they had a pretty good defense last year. But then the Vikings come into town. They beat the Buffalo Bills. Right now, they're 8-1. They rolling. What do you think about that game? Let's start with Sarah.
Yeah, I picked Dallas to win that game, to be honest with you. I felt like they were gonna I think Minnesota is gonna kind of come down from their, high of coming back. They've been doing that way too many times this year. And I think honestly think that the spread, I don't remember, it's really low. I think they're like 1-point favorites or a half-point favorites at home. I just think Dallas is, coming back from looking like fools, losing to Green Bay and whatnot. So I think that's why I picked them. I think Dak, needs to get settled in early, but it's in the end, it's going to be their defense. I think Dallas's defense is just a really good defense. And I don't think that Cousins is going to be able to, handle it 2 weeks in a row. He didn't handle it against the Bills in the first half. So I think that's, be his untimely demise, on Sunday. I guess here we go talking about Tremaine and the Bills again.
Well, because that's the only reason why, and I will say one person. That's the reason why they came back and won. Tremaine being out of that game completely, like it swayed the game so heavily. But Sterles, how do you feel about this game, Cowboys and Vikings?
Yeah, man, I think the Cowboys have an opportunity to win this game. I mean, I think it's real hard to just keep that emotional roller coaster going like that. And let's be honest, man, Kirk Cousins was closing his eyes, throwing the ball to an area, and they got lucky. They were really lucky. But I think Dallas's defense is what's gonna win the game here. They got two superstars over there. Michael Parsons is unreal. It just depends on what kind of football do we expect Dak Prescott to play, right? So, but I would say the Cowboys win 27-20 is what the score is going to be.
27-20. I could go with that. What score did you say, Sarah, or did you say a score?
I didn't say a score, but I think it'll be a little bit closer. I think more 24-21, but close.
Yeah. No, I could see that though. Because again, I think Dak is finally, he's not there yet. He's not the Dak we saw when they led the league in offense, a couple years back. And I think a lot of people forget that, because it's the NFL was always a "what have you done for me lately" type of league. But Dak Prescott led the Dallas Cowboys to the #1 offense in the league a few years back. So I think he's kind of refiguring that out. He doesn't have Amari Cooper. They got some weapons. It ain't like CeeDee Lamb is chopped liver. That dude he's nice, but I don't like Zeke. I think they should just he should be RB2. I know he has a contract.
Tony Pollard's balling, dog.
He that dude. He that boy. And I like it. I like it a lot. So for that reason, I'm gonna. But I mean, Zeke is back, I believe. So I don't know. I think if they overuse Zeke tomorrow, that might be the problem.
Yeah, I could see. I think that's Jerry Jones because he's paying him. Jerry Jones wants to pound Zeke into the ground. I mean, it's evident, and we all know. Oh man, hey,
pause,
my dude, pause. But y'all know what I mean, though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, though, Zeke do be wearing them crop tops, so I mean, whatever floats your boat, baby.
Hey,
but Tony Pollard's been that guy this year, man.
Yeah.
I just really like him as a running back, man. But I think it's going to come down to, what quarterback's going to make the play, right? And I want to see how Justin Jefferson bounces back from an amazing Hall of Fame-ish type of game that he had against the Bills and see what he does against Trayvon Diggs. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I just don't think that's right there. I think that the defense they're two different defenses, and I don't think Minnesota's corners are going to be able to handle the Cowboys wide receivers, even though it's not, even though they don't have the same, wide receiver course they had in the past. I just think that, it'll be a lot like the Bills were before they self-destructed after 3 quarters.
Yeah, and as far as what Sterl said though about Justin Jefferson, I don't think he's gonna have any difficulty, man. Like he's been beasting all season. I mean, like literally the whole season, he's been beasting. That dude,
yeah,
he's amazing, man. Like if he's not, and it just depends on what you value as far as top wide receiver play. But he's top 3, like in any conversation. It don't matter. Sure. Like some people will say he's the best. Some people say he's behind. He's top 3 regardless of what conversation you have. So.
I think he's number 1. I think he's number 1. I think Diggs is number 2. And then I think, unfortunately for Adams, he's fallen to 3 now. But that's because of the quarterback. That's how it's not right to judge them by their quarterback, but that you kind of have to a little bit. But I think that the one thing that you guys were saying with Jefferson is I think that he will have a great game, but that's what you get when you go up against Diggs, because Diggs is one of those, all or nothing. So he's either going to go for the pick or you're going to get some good yards off of him. So I think he'll still have a pick tomorrow, but I also think that Jefferson will probably go over 100 yards.
And I agree with you there too. I think for that reason, Diggs, the cornerback, not the wide receiver, that dude, he's a very good, like he gets interceptions galore. Like he's that dude. Yeah. He gonna intercept the ball, but because he goes for every doggone interception, he gives up so much. And somebody like Justin Jefferson, man, he about to eat. And I don't think it's going. So I'm actually on the other side of things. I don't think the Cowboys going to win. I think the Vikings are going to keep it rolling. I think Justin Jefferson is going to make that defense suffer. I think I think Dalvin Cook is going to have a day, because last week really he only had like the huge run and then a couple plays here and there. I think they're going to get back to really trying to run the ball. I don't know. I just don't think Dallas has what it takes to really go up against the Vikings and take one.
Now, before the season started, I had said that the 2 sleeper teams that people weren't picking was Philadelphia and the Vikings. So I actually feel really good that both teams are playing very well and are basically the 2 best teams in the NFC. So I feel good about that.
Listen, well, nobody heard it, so it don't count.
People heard me.
Me and Smith can't hear you, so it don't count.
I know people heard me.
Sterl said, if it ain't here, if it ain't nobody heard it,
it don't count. Shit, I said.
And I'll go find my tweets.
I said a lot of stuff when I'm by myself, Sarah.
Nah. You a fool. You a damn fool.
I know. You my girl.
So, all right. Well, let's get on to another divisional matchup that I think is going to be good. The Chiefs are going to LA to take on the Chargers, and I think this is Sunday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken. The Chargers. Okay, so obviously Justin Herbert has been dealing with that. Like he's getting healthy now. Like I feel like now we're starting to see flashes of what Justin Herbert, what we all thought he was last year and what he was supposed to be, but he's been struggling with that. What outside of that though, what the heck is going on with the Chargers though? Like I just feel like they're not the complete team that we thought they were. I know it's a couple injuries. I know Keenan Allen has had the hamstring basically all year, but outside of that, yeah, right. As usual.
Hey, it's the Chargers, man. We always say, this is one of the best teams in the league before the season. Like, their roster always looks really good. But I don't know what it is. And it's been like this even before Justin Herbert. It's like they never meet expectations. You go and get them a franchise cornerback. You go get them, all these weapons that they got on defense, right? And it's like they cannot get out away from themselves. And so, it's just defensively, they're just not really good. They're not really good defensively. And I think, teams are starting to adjust to Justin Herbert a bit. So he's not as successful, as we expected him to be. Some growing pains in that. Quarterback's the toughest position to play in the league. So, it just depends on how he takes those tests, how he comes back from those and learns from it and moves on and becomes better. But until then, this is a middle of the pack football team.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking it that both of you expect the Chiefs to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Eckler run all over them, but I think both wide receivers are questionable again. Williams and Allen are both questionable from what I remember. So, I mean, it's every week their offense. Oh, there goes Spence. But every week their offense just goes through Eckler at this point, and if he doesn't have a good game, then the whole system goes bye-bye. But I'd love to see them figure it out and win, and because it's in division, they might play each other a little bit harder than normal, but I think Kansas City is gonna destroy them, but we'll see.
I don't know, man. If I had to pick, I would say that the Chiefs win, but I would say that the Chargers cover the spread, just because.
Yeah,
it's
I don't remember what
this season, right? I mean, it just the margin of victory is just so small, and so what was it? I don't know the over under or the spread, but if I had to give a spread to it, I would say 6 points, and I think
I think it's like
that.
6.5 or 7.
Actually, I think it's 5. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it's 5. So I agree with both of you. I think the Chiefs are going to win, but look, the Chiefs had to go to overtime to beat the Tennessee Titans, being led by Malik Willis. So now that's not taking anything. A win is a win, and we understand that in the NFL, like every week is a different thing. But it took a bit for them to win against a rookie that can't throw more than 40 yards in a game. So I just, I don't know. I feel like Eckler can run all over them. I feel like Eckler is going to have a day, and Sarah's fantasy team will be all right. So,
so now you know why I was pulling for it.
Yeah, no, we already know. We already know. She wouldn't trade him to me, Sterles. I tried to get her to trade him to me.
He's trying to take all my good people. No, it's not happening.
She ain't a real one.
No, she ain't. So
when it comes to money, shoot.
So one more game before we get to our game. I wanted to talk about the Monday night game. The San Francisco 49ers come to Arizona and take on the Cardinals. I don't know how I feel because I'm very upset with Kyler Murray. I'm very upset with actually Kyler Murray is still he's questionable with his hamstring. Hopkins is questionable. I don't like Cliff Kingsbury. I don't like there's several different reasons that I'm upset with my Cardinals right now. Let's start with Sarah on this one. What do you think, Sarah?
I think San Fran's at that point where they are going to turn they're going to start winning, or their season's kind of over with and people have expectations for them. So I honestly think San Fran's going to go in and definitely, I think they're going to beat the crap out of the Cardinals. I have just not been impressed at all with Arizona this year, one bit.
Well, damn, tell me how you really feel.
I'm sorry.
She ain't putting no money on him.
Yeah, I don't think Murray's played well at all. And every time I have picked them to win, there you go. Every time I pick them to win, they've lost. So now that I'm picking them to lose, they're gonna prove me wrong. So I just haven't been impressed with them at all this year. And I thought that when Hopkins came back that it was gonna be different. And there was kind of flashes, but they're just not utilizing people the way that I would think that they should be utilizing them. And their whole offense has just looked terrible with the names that they have.
So you're just bitter, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a broken relationship.
Yeah. I'm not bitter because I could care less about Arizona.
Now, I love. And I probably shouldn't. Well, I don't care. I love the Cardinals. Like, I think the Cardinals are you know, so last year was the first year I got season tickets to the Cardinals, and it was the perfect year to do it. Like they started the season off, they had the best record probably up until like week 13. Like it was like they really, it was an enjoyable time to go to the games. This year, I know Hop started the year off with a 6-game suspension for performance enhancing drugs and whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, dude, like it just ain't the same, man. Like everything about it is just bad. They traded for Hollywood Brown. So what? He did nothing. They, man, James Conner was injured. So the run game. Now, Benjamin, he stepped in and did a good job. That was about the only thing good. That was about it. I'm a huge fan of Sterles, how do you feel about the game? Because I can go in and tell y'all why I don't like it and why I think they need to fire the coach and why they need to figure out a team to trade Kyler to and then just draft somebody, even though they just gave him all that money. I feel like he should go to the Panthers. They like to take all of the quarterbacks in Carolina, trade them to the Panthers, and then figure something else out. But how do you feel about this game?
I think it comes down to who's more disciplined. But like Sarah said, man, this Arizona team, and I know them are your boys, but man, they really know how to break your heart, man. It's just like they cannot get out of their own way. You know, I thought Kyler Murray at least was gonna come in and be, continue on his ascension. But you could go back to in the last season in the playoffs, man, he just hasn't looked like the guy. And all the scrutiny, this summer and early in the season about his, when he got that contract, and it just doesn't seem like he's the guy. Athletically, I think their defense is as athletic as it comes, but I think Cliff Kingsbury is your coach. I think, man, he's not that good of a coach, and maybe he grows into it, but right now he's just not it. And so I think they're a very undisciplined football team, and I think outside of D-Hop, I mean, what do you really have at receiver? You really don't have much. Rondell Moore is young, and you don't really have a running game, and your offensive line is really bad. So that's the area of focus for the offseason for them. So I would definitely have to say the 49ers right now. I think the 49ers have the potential to be the team represented in the NFC for the Super Bowl. I think, this is a team that defensively, I think they're stout defensively. I think they're going to get healthy at the right time. So, and Jimmy Garoppolo has experience. I mean, what else is stopping them but themselves? They need to get Deebo Samuel involved in that offense. So he hasn't been happening. He hadn't had any good weeks recently. So, but I think that'll happen.
I just think the whole team is full of bums outside of my man Buda Baker. I'm gonna put it like that. Outside of my man Buda Baker, the whole team is full of bums. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, and I'm mad about it.
Have you noticed this? Every time you see the Cardinals, they show Buda Baker like trying to motivate this team. Have y'all noticed?
That's all they have. That's all they have, man.
They got JJ Watt, right?
Man, he's a
Captain America.
Yo, if they would have got JJ Watt 5-6 years ago, yeah, they got JJ Watt when he's not JJ Watt, man.
He ain't JJ.
No, man, like no, the dude. With respect, because I understand who he's been to the game. I understand who he is. He ain't that no more, though. Now, TJ Watt, he's injured too every year, but I take TJ Watt out here. Give me TJ.
Oh, any shit. Yeah. All day, every day.
Ugh. Got disgusted talking about these damn Cardinals. The thing about the 49ers, though, I like the fact that I agree with Sarah. I think that like this is the time they have to okay, you got to start putting some wins together, stringing them together. You trade, come on, man. You trade for the best running back in football, and I don't care what nobody say. Argue with your mammy. He's the best running back in football. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football when he's healthy, and right now he's healthy. But he's healthy right now.
Yeah, I was just when healthy. Yes.
Well, I'm just saying he's healthy. So. I feel like you make that trade. You got Deebo Samuel. You have those two type of weapons on the same offense. I think it's going to get scary once they get this thing figured out.
Yeah.
And I was the guy saying before, I still think that I like Trey Lance. I'm not saying this to diss him, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo gives them the best chance to win right now. I still think that.
Well, he's more methodical, and he's that, he's not going to make as many mistakes. He's a vet compared to Trey Lance. So, yeah.
I mean, you know what bothers me about that, though, is like this man gets you, and I get it. People will say, well, it ain't he got you there, but he got you to the Super Bowl. He got you to the NFC Championship. he's done enough to lead your team, and you still feel like you got to draft a quarterback top 5. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit disrespectful. Honestly, like I'm being for real. I get it. Trey Lance has different, like people like to look at him and say, oh, he's, they compare everybody to Josh Allen now. Everybody.
Yeah, right.
He has the Josh Allen factor. He's going to take a Josh Allen leap, and he's going to be the best quarterback in the NFC. And okay, miss me, right? But he could be that good. However, you really have a dude on your roster that you traded 2 second-round picks for that took you to the NFC Championship and took you to a Super Bowl separate years. I would say that the investment you made was worth it.
Yeah, but I think that with Jimmy G, they feel like they made it in spite of him, not because of him. And that's, they don't feel like he's the franchise quarterback. And that's why they went out looking for someone else.
I agree, but I think it's wrong. Like, sometimes when you build a roster, I get it. The way the NFL is built, everybody wants to have that guy. They want that franchise guy. But a lot of times you actually have rosters that are built that win regardless of the talent you have there. So you'd want a quarterback that won't lose the game for you.
And that's Jimmy right now.
Well,
I think that's Jimmy right now.
And that's perfect. Yeah. Because I mean, let's take a look at my favorite quarterback, Baker Mayfield. He had one of the best rosters in Cleveland. And this dude lost games for he was the L. How you get benched for PJ Walker? Now, obviously, I feel like Baker Mayfield is better than PJ Walker, but on Twitter, I be talking my talk. PJ Walker's better. He looks so much better than Baker Mayfield. Just because, how do you get benched for PJ Walker, man? Like, what are you doing with your life? That is not Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not Jimmy G. Jimmy G is out there, and he will not lose the game for you. Every once in a while, too, he'll make the throw that you need him to make. Not just want him to make. He'll make the throw you need him to make. I don't know. I feel like it's disrespectful. He might not be Josh Allen, but how many Josh Allens are there really?
One. Period.
So, you're not going to get Josh every year. You're not going to get a Lamar Jackson every year. It's impossible.
Jimmy's so pretty.
He's so pretty. Did you see the thing that they did where they converted them to women?
Oh God.
Oh, I hate that. I
did too. But Jimmy fit, bro. Jimmy fit. I'm just saying. Yeah. He transitioned well.
I don't know how to feel about any of that. That was just weird.
Josh has looked weird. Josh has looked really, really weird.
No, he looked like Amanda Bynes. Like, it was the weirdest shit ever. Go back and look. He looks like and then Google Amanda Bynes and put them together. It's weird.
I thought it was weird.
People doing that in general is just kind of weird, bro. Like,
did y'all see how they had Tua and he was like super short?
Yeah.
How could you tell their height?
No, they literally had Tua his head was like, oh, where's my camera? His head was like here, where everybody else's head was up here. So you could barely see his. Yeah, no, they made him real short. I'll send it to you. They made him real short. Funny. So now let's get to the game that we care about. The Buffalo Bills at their home, away from home, will be hosting the Cleveland Browns in Detroit. Let's start where we kind of started already, Sterles. Let's talk about this wide receiver room, because I feel like the issue is there's 3 issues when it comes to the passing game for me. 1, we miss Cole Beasley more than we want to admit.
Yep.
2, we don't have a real wide receiver 2 on this roster. No disrespect to Gabriel Davis, but we don't have currently. He hasn't developed yet to be a wide receiver 2. And then 3, why did we keep Isaiah McKenzie over Isaiah Hodgins? That's probably not a real question, but at the same time, it's a real question.
Wait, is Joe on the show or?
Nah, that was me this time. Like, and y'all know. Yeah, I know I'd be dragging my dog Joe for his Isaiah Hodgins love, but at the same time, like, why is this dude? He gets chance after chance after chance every season to make mistakes and to just look horrible and to do bad things and to turn the ball over and to drop passes and to run 5 yards negative instead of like just taking he just does things that are just not smart. Not smart. It's not hatred.
No, I'm saying your hatred is starting to rub off. I was always the McKenzie defender, and then this season I see it more. Like he had 2 good plays though last week. He had 2 good plays.
One of them he almost messed up because he tripped over himself when he was making the damn catch.
That to me is just crazy. How do you? This man is always tripping over himself. Are you that fast with your feet that where you just can't get it together? You know what I'm saying? Like the Bills wide receiver room, man, it gets on my nerves. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm over Gabriel Davis. I'm over it, dude. Like you're supposed to be the number 2. And we heard all this offseason, oh, he works so hard. Man, a lot of these NFL players work hard, man. But catch the damn ball. Catch the ball, dude. Like, come on, dog. Like, I'm just tired of it. You know, he's got a very limited route tree, you know, and this offense predicates that you as a receiver, you have to be dynamic route runner. And he's not.
And you know what, Sarah, you just said he had 2 good plays last week. What about this one? He ran out of bounds. He didn't get pushed out of bounds. He didn't fall out of bounds. He didn't like. I
know the play you're talking about.
So Sarah, tell me about that play. What is?
He looked like he completely just gave up. Even though he ran out of bounds, he could have came back in. He could have, obviously can't catch the ball, but he could have done something, but he just looked disinterested at that point. So I went back because I know, I don't know, remember what show this week that everybody was talking about it, but I went back and I rewatched it again. And it's frustrating because, he's getting a chance to be out there. I would rather at this point have him not and have Shakir be out there. So it's getting to the point where we just don't have enough wide receivers either. We have like 4 healthy wide receivers now 5 because they brought up Gentry, but what kind of what kind of action is he really going to see? So I'm upset that they got rid of Hodgins, or that I shouldn't say got rid of him, they let him go. Hopefully we'll see if Stevenson comes back and can do something. But people were joking today that OBJ, after he sees a snowstorm, he's going to be out on Buffalo. So, all of our hopes and dreams and that having that happen probably won't. But
I personally think we're out on him anyway. I was very confident a couple weeks ago, but now everything that I'm reading and then the people I'm talking to who know him and are close to him feel that he wants like a 2 or 3 year deal that's worth he wants it to look similar to other guys that are making like 20. I don't think the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to do that. Now, I mean, Brandon Beane is shown to be like a wizard as far as the cap and doing what he does, but I just don't see that as a real possibility. So I think I'm out on him. As much as that hurts me to say, I love Odell Beckham Jr. Like anybody who listens to the Code of Conduct or who has been listening since the very beginning knows Odell Beckham Jr. is probably my favorite player in the NFL. I mean, like no exceptions. Like I love everything about Odell Beckham Jr. I love his energy. I love his swag. I love his he's a great teammate. I love the flashiness of the plays. I love him off the field. Even though people try to make it seem like he's a problem, he's never a problem. He just enjoys life. And I love how much he loves Michael Jackson. And Sarah knows how much we love Michael Jackson. But like, it's just so much about him that I love. So it hurts me to say that I don't think we're going to get him, but I'm agreeing with both of y'all. We need a receiver like yesterday. Now I have another question that bothers me. Why does it seem like, so I just mentioned how McKenzie makes mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and he keeps getting chances. Last week, Devin Singletary got 2 touchdowns in the first half. He fumbled. Now,
no, he didn't.
Right. I was going to say, depending on how you look at it, there was inconclusive evidence when you looked at the replay, so they couldn't overturn it. But I don't think it was a fumble. But he fumbled. He turned the ball over. We didn't see him really in the second half. Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand his coaching staff when it comes to allowing these leashes when it comes to Isaiah McKenzie, and then like, no, all right, bench for you. I don't like that.
Man, it just seems like they hate running the ball, bro. Like it's like running backs go to Buffalo to die. I mean, it's like we fail to get these guys going. And Devin Singletary has looked pretty good the past few weeks. But Nyheim Hines still doesn't have a role. James Cook doesn't even have a role really. So, and then you abandon the run in the second half. Like I just don't understand it, man. Like you were up. Like run the ball. Like you can make that work. You know, it's not like the Bills' offensive line is bums. Like, you can make that work. And I'm a big fan of Josh Allen throwing the ball, but that's not sustainable. Like, you're not going to win games in December, in January, in February if you just pass the ball all day. It's kind of getting old, man, and they need to make that change. I do think that now, you know, Ken Dorsey being the offensive coordinator, I do think, you know, maybe there's a little bit more buy-in in terms of what Sean McDermott is expecting in terms of a balance on offense, because Brian Dable was this gun-ho, like he just wants to throw the ball all day. And I like that. But at some point, man, sometimes game, you know, situationally it changes and you got to be able to adjust. And they haven't been able to adjust lately.
Actually, I feel like we went through the same thing. I was going to say, I think we went through the same thing with Dable. We were like, every first down, where, you know, we were running the ball and it was the same exact thing all, you know, and we were all complaining for Dable for the longest time. So I think that, you know, Dorsey just needs to get his footing. But I just want to say, I don't feel like we stopped running the ball because of the fumble. I feel like we stopped because there was a couple of plays that were for no gain and negative, and then we abandoned it in the third quarter. So I think it's stupid that we abandoned it because we were doing so well, and Singletary was looking good, and Josh was looking good running the ball as well. I hate that we went away from it because we could have run some of the clock down.
Well, first, I want to say I never wanted to fire Dabo. I just wanted to throw that out.
It was out there. It was out there, though.
No, I know, but you said we. I'm just saying,
no,
you said we.
It's the fan base, the Bills fan base. Everyone was, you know, going to social media saying fire Dable, and up in arms about his play calling for the longest time. So
I just wanted to clarify for the listeners.
So everyone, all Bills fans, but Spence.
Just saying, because I thought Brian Daboll was, and I still think very highly of him.
Yeah,
I see certain people in the comments now. So shout out to my girl Heather. I love Heather. She says, I think Dorsey is too conservative. See, I disagree. I think the problem is right now, I don't think that we're conservative at all. I think the problem is that I don't think they're conservative enough. Like, they don't take what the defense is giving them now. They started off being conservative and we were successful. So it looked like we were being too aggressive. Now it's just like, all right, Josh, go out there and be Superman, do what you do. And then he's throwing bombs he's throwing, what down was it when he threw the interception in overtime? Like, it was a 25-yard throw in the end zone.
I think it was second.
It was second down with a minute and a half left and 2 timeouts in overtime. And you're throwing a 20-yard pass in the end zone instead of running you just ran the ball twice to get down the field. The defense is obviously playing soft. Run it again. Pass the ball, pass it underneath, or like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so while I agree where I understand where Sarah or where Heather is coming from, I also feel like, why y'all don't do that? Who did that? I don't do that. I don't do solo. We a team in this joint. Don't be doing that.
I don't know what happened, dog.
It was Sterling. I see it in his face. You sipping that stuff too much. Relax.
I'm sipping slow, baby.
Sipping on that sensor. Anyway, so I get what Heather's saying, but like I said, I think the problem is that we're not conservative enough by taking exactly what the defense is giving us, and when it comes to stuff like that, that's when you revert back to Josh trying to be a superhero. I won't say sugar high Josh, because even with these the turnovers, I don't think it was sugar high Josh. I think it was Josh just doing too much and trying to, sugar high Josh was the dude that was like, he trying to break 3 tackles in the backfield, runs 14. He's Isaiah McKenzie as a quarterback. That's sugar high Josh. He ain't been that.
I don't see that. I don't see sugar high Josh. I just think he's just trying too much. He's just doing too much. He got simmer down. But the good news is, I think when it comes to a learning curve, I think Josh Allen is one of the top quarterbacks in the league in terms of adjusting to, some of the negative flaws that he has. And so I just think this is a little part in the season where you're in a slump. He's going to get out of it. I'm not worried about Josh.
Okay. So one more point about the game, and then we can kind of round it up and chop it up for a second and then get on out of here. I think it's going to be a huge loss tomorrow because my guy is not going to be active. And I think we saw a clear in-game representation of how valuable he is to the defense. And he's so bad. Everybody likes to talk about Tremaine, like every week. He's not good. He doesn't make the splash plays. Now when he's not in there, you see a complete difference. What do you think the Browns are going to do with no Tremaine in there? I think
they're going to run the ball right down their throat.
Yeah,
they're going to run the ball. I mean, Nick Chubb is 5.7 yards per carry. That's high. So they're going to run the ball a lot, and the Bills have shown that they struggle or struggling when it comes to running the ball. And so the Bills are going to come out there in that nickel defense. So the advantage, that's a light box, and so I think the Cleveland Browns have a very strong physical offensive line. They got some really good guys on the offensive line, and I think that the Bills are going to be overmatched there. So they're going to run the ball. I'm not worried about Jacoby Brissett. I'm not worried about Amari Cooper. I'm not even worried about Njoku. It's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and the offensive line. So the Bills are definitely going to have their hands full when it comes to stopping the run tomorrow.
What you feel, Sarah? I think Jordan coming back is going to help the run.
I mean, if he comes back, he's still questionable. So we'll see. I mean, you think he's going to play? So, I mean, I've been very vocal that the second Tremaine went out last week. I actually started texting. I think I texted you, Spence. I texted a couple of people on Sunday. Was like, "What's going on with Trey? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen Tremaine in the third quarter. What's going on?" To find out if he was injured, because you could tell that there was a difference in the run game. So I think that's going to be the same thing, this week. And now we have to deal with it for 4 quarters instead of just 1.5. So, I hate to say it, but I think Chubb's going to eat no matter what, and that's okay because he's on my fantasy team. But we got to take care of everything else. I'm just saying. But
you see how disloyal she is, Bills Mafia. You see how disloyal Sarah is.
Disloyal. Do you see what I went through to get here?
As soon as a player on her fantasy team is going against the Bills, she still wants him to eat on us. You see how disloyal? No. I'm like F this fantasy game. That's how I feel. F this fantasy game.
I actually usually am. But right now I'm number 1 in the league, so it matters. No, but for real though, I think that they're off. Yeah, I'm on top of you now, so there you go. I'm bragging.
In one league.
Yeah, in the other league, I'm doing terrible.
Exactly.
But anyways, I think that Cleveland has a decent offense. The problem is that their defense is not good right now, and I think that it's going to be just managing. And that's the one thing that's good about playing in the Dome. It's managing points. So I think that it'll be, probably a little bit more high scoring than we want. But we need to get them off the field as much as we possibly can, because if they just running it, then they're gonna own the time of possession, and then we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah, they're definitely got to start out fast.
What do you think about this comment here that Daryl put in there about AJ Klein being back? Because I completely overlooked that in this conversation.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
AJ Klein ain't gonna do shit. I
think that it's good that we have the depth again. He already knows what knows what he's doing. He knows the playbook, but Sean was very kind of, he kind of overlooked it a little bit and was kind of like he might not even start this week, or not start, but he definitely won't start, but might not even play this week. So he might just be inactive while he gets his bearings back and stuff. But I mean, at this point in time, we're not doing anything with Hines and stuff like that. I don't think that they feel comfortable bringing somebody new in and throwing him back in there. I mean, we haven't done anything with Marlowe either.
Oh, I think Dean Marlowe is going to play this weekend.
He had like 5% of the snaps last year. Like he hasn't done that.
All right, hold on. He's going to be all right. But
I feel like he needs to get in there.
If we hit any kind of hope to AJ Klein making an impact, that shit ain't happening. I'm telling you. I would love to see Terrell Bernard be what they envision him to be. But Terrell, in limited action we've seen of him, it's not been good, and that was a 3rd round pick. I hated the pick, not gonna lie. Wasn't a fan of it. But I just hope that Tremaine gets healthy, man. Like I hope he sits out this game.
Though.
Yeah, Baylor Spector is a 7th round pick.
But they both did well in preseason, and everyone was up in arms about how good they were both supposed to be, and I haven't been impressed.
I wasn't in the pre-draft process. I wasn't impressed. Terrell Bernard is a space linebacker. outside of that, man, it's just like, So I don't know, dude. Just get Tremaine back and healthy. This whole season's been riddled with injury. Like I ain't never seen this with the Bills in such a long time. So I hope they peak at the right time towards the end of the season and they could be healthy again.
I just hope the Buffalo Bills can figure out something to do when it comes to receiver play by the playoffs. Because I don't care how good we are. Like, honestly, I think right now that's the biggest hole or weakness on our team. If you're going to ask me what area you want to improve upon before we get to the playoffs, if we can't sign Odell Beckham Jr., I don't know. And I get everybody hates him. I don't know if y'all want to call Cole Beasley out of retirement or what, but we need help. And I don't care. I don't care how many people want to argue.
I don't know if Cole would come. The amount of crap that he's spewed about Buffalo at this point, and not only Buffalo, but like coaching and the front office, and I don't think he'd come back.
Money talks.
We don't have the money. We don't have the money.
They better find.
I know Bean can make the money, but
Odell and Cole.
Yeah, at this point in time, I'm just so concerned about us re-signing people and extending people that for them to make the money come out of somewhere, I'm just nervous that that's going to mean taking it away from somewhere else. But at the same time, I think that we just need to get Knox involved, and we need to at this point, we need to have a number 2 wide receiver, and hopefully that's Davis. We just need the consistency to happen because he can be a number 2. He just needs to be consistently number 2.
I'm glad you're optimistic. I'm so happy you're
positive. If we want to go to the Super Bowl, we have to be optimistic about that because if not, I mean, it's not like we can.
Optimism ain't gonna get us to the Super Bowl.
Well.
I'm a little bit less optimistic than I was at the beginning of the year. I'll be honest.
Oh, of course.
I'm a little bit, and not because we just lost 2 games in a row. I'm looking at the roster top to bottom, and I'm looking at how guys are performing. For example, we just talked about Gabriel Davis. I thought he was going to be better than what he's been. I thought, like I can go down a list of guys. Now, defensively,
Josh, right off the top, like Josh is not performing. He did very well the first 6 weeks. Last few weeks, things have been just different, and I'm a little concerned. I think he'll right the ship, but I'm a little concerned about how he's been playing.
Well, but when I'm talking about Super Bowl aspirations, like Josh isn't the reason why I lose hope. It's not Josh. If it comes down to Josh versus any other quarterback in the league, I'm taking Josh. So, like I don't even with the last couple of weeks with the turnovers and I'm taking Josh because I just feel like there's always, I don't know, he has that, we always talk about it. He just has that thing where he makes it happen. So I mean, but it's everybody else. Like our wide receiver 3 right now is Isaiah McKenzie. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let's get on out of here. Steros, you got a show and an article coming out tomorrow. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find it, what you're talking about, what's going on, and then Sarah can talk about 3-man rush, and then we'll get on out of here.
Yeah, man. So Intentional Groundings will be live tomorrow from Jackson's Bar and Grill in downtown Denver. I'll be live at 11 a.m. To talk about these Cleveland Browns and how the Bills are going to be able to stop the freaking run. That's the thing that they need to be worried about. Not this snow, but how they're going to stop Nick Chubb. But you can find, all my content on my work at Buffalo Rumblings. You already know.
All right. So we are 3 shows in on the 3-man rush with Jerry Ostrowski, and it's been a lot of fun. Myself and Colt have joined him, and check us out. We're on Thursdays at 9 p.m. and it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we can start getting a little bit more viewership so we can get some more comments and some more interaction. We talk college, kind of heavy on Syracuse and Buffalo, and then we also talk the Bills, of course, but also playoffs are coming, so we'll be talking about the NCAA playoffs.
Michigan.
Michigan almost lost today, and I've been hating a little bit.
You better not talk about nobody almost losing Miami Hurricanes.
They almost. Anyways, we won't talk about the Hurricanes right now. But fourth quarter, they were down, both Michigan and TCU, so it'll be interesting this week to see, it's the top 4. Yeah. But I will say I am very high on Michigan's running back. So
little Blake Corum, I see you, girl.
He got injured, but I got nervous. He got injured today, but he came back in. So
All right. Well, I always enjoy the friendly banter between Steros and Sarah. It's always fun. Y'all know how I do it. It's your boy Jay Spencer King. This week, the code of conduct I am thinking about. I have a guest, but I think I might postpone the guest for another week, and I think I might do a special edition code of conduct where I get a couple people who are good supporters of the show, and I might just kind of throw the link out there and let some people join me. I think that's how we're gonna do it for Thanksgiving, because I want to show how thankful I am for all of my viewers and the people who supported me since day one. Hump Day Hotline is going to be Wednesday. Directly following that this week will be the 3-Man Rush, because it's not going to be Thursday because of Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all y'all. Steros, I'm thankful for you, man. I love you, bro.
Love you too, dog. And love Sarah too, man. Sarah.
I love Sarah.
Sarah's a real one.
You.
For y'all, for those of y'all who don't know, Sarah's a real one, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how dope Sarah is.
Yeah.
I know firsthand.
I appreciate y'all.
Sarah, I love you. I love it. I ain't got to say. The world knows I love Sarah. Look. Shout out to my man Antoine Staley. He wasn't able to be with us today because he's a Jets fan and he's traveling to go see them Patriots play. But we're going to get on out of here. Love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Love each other and live in peace. Yeah, shout out to Joe, I guess. Yeah.